because my grandfather just died. And they wanted me to let me know right away before I would find out things. Desperado el momento perfecto. On board, diversity is everything. Diversity is actually union. Diversity is what makes everything fantastic.
Bienvenidos a todos a Voces Latinas. Este es un espacio para los artistas soñadores, emprendedores y empresarios de la industria que quieren aprender a moverse en ella y cumplir sus sueños. Mi nombre es Valentina Escobar, bailarina, actriz, cantante de teatro musical. Nos estará acompañando aquí como embajadora oficial de Voces Latinas, junto a nuestros grandes invitados. El día de hoy tenemos a Giuseppe Moschella, quien es un líder innato de la industria del entretenimiento global. Y él inició como intérprete internacional en Celebrity Cruises en el 2016. Y con solo 5 años se convirtió en el director de crucero más joven de la compañía a bordo del Celebrity Atlas, uno de los barcos más prestigiosos de la línea. Welcome, Giuseppe, and thank you for being our guest here in Voces Latinas.
Buenas, chao. Thank you so much for this fantastic introduction. Me siento maravilloso, muy lindo. Y muchas gracias a todos. Gracias mille, dankeschön, merci beaucoup. Chao.
Bueno, Giuseppe, he speaks lots of languages, and we're going to talk about that in our interview. But for now, to start, the first question is, from Sicily to the world stage, right? So what was the defining moment when you said, I'm going to live global experiences? Was it destiny or just pure intention?
I have to say that I never really had one big defining moment. My life has always been full of surprises, full of crazy moments since the moment I was born. And entertainment has always been that pure passion, that love, that thing you see a television show and you say, wow, I want to be there. You see somebody on stage, you say, wow, I want to be there. And that actually happened to me on my very first day on Celebrity Cruises. I was only 22 years old. I went to the theater with a friend of mine that was showing me around and showing me the ship. And I was wearing this very big uniform. I was very goofy. I didn't know where to go. I kept losing myself and opening the wrong doors. And there was the cruise director on stage and it was full of people. Everybody was laughing. There was a production show. People were clapping. And my friend looked at me and said, you could be that person. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm just a baby boy. I just joined. And he said, actually, I'm going to tell you, you're going to be that person. And I ended up being that person 2 years later. So I guess craziness happens in real life too, not just in movies and Netflix.
Right. Well, and you just said that, I mean, your life has been crazy since the day you were born. I want to know more about that. Why did you say that?
Let's just say that I grew up in a very small town and everybody knew me in the small town. I used to do all these videos where you do dangerous stuff and like going with bicycle under the hills with no brakes and then jumping off the bicycle. And I was quite popular in the very first edition of YouTube in my small town because I was the guy that was never stopping and was always going with the bicycle everywhere. And one time I even crashed onto a garage. And people still remember that.
Wow, that's crazy. So you could say you started as a YouTuber, more or less.
I started as a very early YouTuber when you didn't even have a proper internet connection. And it was very expensive to have internet at the time, or at least that's what my family said.
Right. All right. Thank you for that, Giuseppe. Well, you speak 6 languages, as we just said, and we just noticed at the beginning of this interview. So how does a creative leader stay connected with such diversity without losing authenticity?
Honestly, everybody keeps talking about diversity, especially today, and inclusion and all of that. I believe that I was born lucky because I came from Sicily, and Sicily is a little bit of everything. Sicily is that part of Italy that is very diverse because we were Greek, we were Turkish, we were French, we were Spanish. Our dialect has a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of French, a little bit of Arab. We were African at one point. So we're very diverse in our own being. I always say to myself and to my friends, I look like a cappuccino color because I have a little bit of everything. And I think that when you work in such a dynamic environment, we have 66, sometimes 68 different nationalities on board. Diversity is everything. Diversity is actually union. Diversity is what makes everything fantastic. And you go from walking around the pool deck, speaking to somebody from Nicaragua, going to the theater and seeing performers from Canada and the singer from Colombia. Then you go to the toilet and the person that's cleaning the toilet is from South Africa. And then you end up going to the restaurant and the person serving is from Italy. You know, so it's very diverse. I was born in diversity.
Okay, thank you, Giuseppe. So, how does you scale a personal brand inside $1 billion company without losing yourself? You know, you have like a lot of success, money around you, and then you start noticing more those things than yourself. I think it's just a human tendency, no? But how do you stay like on your feet and acknowledging who you are in the middle of all of this success?
Well, that's a beautiful question. And I can say by looking at you, and now you're asking me questions, that you are yourself while doing your job, which is fantastic. Because it's the best thing. You gotta be this way. If you don't smile, if you're not happy, you don't show your emotions, then why are you even doing that job? You know, why are you even in that position? I was very lucky and unlucky because I became cruise director when I just turned 25. It was actually the day I turned 25 years old, and I was a baby. So I didn't have time to lose myself and become somebody else because I was too much myself when they didn't even know who I was. And today it's very hard because people judge you, criticize you. They look at your nose, they look at your eyebrows, they look at your shoes, they look at what you wear, especially after the pandemic. You face many criticism. So many people tell you, with entertainment, especially the entertainment. Oh, but I saw something better on TikTok. Well, but that thing that you saw on TikTok was well produced. It has 7 million views, and there must be a reason why that thing makes probably more money than all of us together, you know? So today it's a different world, and you just got to keep being yourself. And I guess Latinos can really be themselves because there's this extra Tabasco in it.
Well, I feel very identified with what you just said because as a performer, I am a performer. You're always wanting, the approval or somebody else, just in audition, so you have to fix yourself this way, you have to wear the stuff. And you also have to remember yourself that what really gets you the job is being you, not being other people. So thank you for that. I really felt very identified with that. Well, what strategies help you grow from a crew member to an iconic figure at celebrity cruises? Like, what tips would you give us to have that path, to become what you just said, that person when you arrived in that cruise ship that told you, you're going to be that person. But what did you have to do?
Always say that what is very, very important, yes, being yourself, but as well having this sort of natural energy when you wake up in the morning and you know that you love what you're doing despite the chaos around you. Because being recognized is easy. Being memorable, that's a superpower, especially in a huge corporation like this one. Because if you don't have that superpower, you disappear into the system. So that's a very hard thing. Find that one thing that you have. It could be, I don't know, your accent, your dancing skills. It could be your way of interpreting certain things and make it better. And just keep working on that and be special for that one thing. Don't try to be, I could never be a Leonardo DiCaprio, for example. I love him, but God, look at me,
Totally get that. I think that phrase you just said, I am going to, for our listeners to really remember, because I think it's very nice what you just said. It's being recognizable, it's easy, but being memorable is a superpower. Thank you for that. I'm going to keep that on my mind.
I didn't even realize I said that.
Well, the next question is, you are called the happy Italian, right? So here is a question about the power of personal brand. How intentional was the creation of your stage persona? And how it has influenced your career within a massive corporation like celebrity?
I would say 100% intentional, but also 100% me. I used to be that crazy Sicilian, but then I had to stop because I realized I was going to kill myself and I wasn't forever young. And I turned into that happy Italian because people always say, oh, it's 6 a.m. in the morning, it's raining, there's a big problem on the ship. We just had to cancel a port or something, and you're still smiling. So people were saying, oh, look, I remember one time one person just went, oh, look who's walking around. It's that happy Italian. And it just clicked in that moment. I said, oh, I like that. Maybe that could be me. I could be that happy Italian.
Right. Okay, so it was just like a little bit of coincidence that you heard somebody said something that you would like for yourself.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But I think that creating your own persona that is yourself is the most important thing in this world. Because creating a persona that is not you would work very well for a certain time, but after a while, you'll either end up being fake, bored, or you just quit your job.
Right. Right. Well, you just mentioned something about that when everything is in chaos, for example, in a cruise, that how do you maintain that feels going on, for example, when a show flops, when an artist breaks down, or when the weather ruins an event, how do you handle that pressure and keep that team spirit high?
That's a great question because people don't realize it, but behind the scenes or below deck, behind the crew only door, there's so many things happening every single day, every single moment. That's when Giuseppe puts on his glasses, becomes serious, and I try to understand what is happening around me. Take a little moment because things happen so fast that you need to decide so quickly at the same time. One of the best things that ever happened to me one time, because I didn't have time to think about it. I was at the buffet. I was having dinner. It was a very, very long day and I didn't have time. So I started the show and it was this fantastic rock show, beautiful singers, dancers, acrobats, a huge band. And I said, okay, the show is going. Everything is fine. I'm going to go to get a slice of pizza. I'm eating. I get a call and they go, Giuseppe, sorry, I cannot say bad words, but they go, the show stopped. So I literally went running, speeding. You have no idea how fast I was going from one side of the ship to the other, running. I arrive in the theater. I realize that there is chaos. There is no lights. There is smoke coming out. Everybody's just sitting, waiting for an answer. I threw all my things up in the air. I went on stage. I grabbed the microphone. I didn't even know what was going on. And I tried to entertain the crowd, fix the situation. I saw some singers in the crowd and they said, hey guys, come on stage, do something. I saw guitarists. Nobody wanted to come. Everybody was freaking out. Everybody went from this big star, this big personality to, oh, you can come at any time, to hiding away. And they were, 20, 30 years older than me, some of them. They've been in the business forever, but they were all hiding. And I say, you know what? Let's do something funny. It was Mother's Day. I called my mother. I grabbed the phone. I called my mother. I passed my mother to 1,000 people in the theater. And I went, Mama,
No!
Happy Mother's Day. Ciao. It ended up being so funny. There is a video of this somewhere on Instagram.
No way, I'm auditioning.
She couldn't understand English. I was speaking half English, half Italian, trying to make her understand, like, Happy Mother's Day, I need you. And then I left her on a stool with my phone, just like this. I put her, and everybody could see her. She was wearing pajama. She was going to bed. And she was like, hello, ciao, good night.
My God, my mother will kill me if I do that
You
to
just
her.
gotta be creative. At one point, you just gotta.
Okay, so right. I was going there. So you will say that like one way to manage that chaos will be just laughing about the situation too,
Yeah.
Like being able to make fun about yourself, right?
Make fun of the situation.
Well, that's a great event. Well, now the next question for you is this one. So we were talking about like what happens behind the scenes, right? What would you say that the world does not know about putting on a show at sea? Because when we are the audience, we just see, the show, the whole spectacle, but we don't know what is behind. So, like, what would you say to the people to the audience, that they don't know that happens behind the scene?
I say behind the scenes is a dream coming true, because being there, the electricity is phenomenal. Everybody changing costumes in 2 seconds, people talking, chatting, you hear me. But then sometimes even just a wave, one single wave, if it hits the theater in the right place while an hand balancer, a contortionist is doing the act, it stops the show. People don't understand that, because they just think that you can just snap your fingers and the show is going to start once again. But they don't understand that everything is time coded, everything follows certain regulations, and we need to do all our checks and see what happens. Sometimes one door doesn't open at the right time, you need to stop the show, because it's security, safety. I cannot have a performer on stage with a show that didn't run the way that is designed to run. What if the door is going to close on the person while the person is walking through the next time? So there is a lot of regulations, and there is a lot of, I would say, smile, keep going. Nobody saw you, but the reality is that everybody saw you. Like the time that the singer kicked the shoe off the theater, but kept on going, You pretend that it's part of the show. There's a lot of things happening behind the scenes, and you're also to understand that we are in charge of a beautiful department as an entertainment, but I'm also the cruise director, and sometimes stage, the show is about to finish, and I get a serious call about the captain. It could be anything. Hey, Giuseppe, there was a problem with a musician. We need to see this musician. This musician is going to get fired. He's going to go home. And you're about to go on stage, but at the same time, you get that call that you need to have a meeting with somebody in about an hour that you love, that is a very good friend of yours, but that person did something wrong and has to go home. And it's the business. And you just go on stage, you smile, you make everything great, and then at the same time, you go to the meeting. Once you finish the meeting, you're back on stage and you pretend nothing ever happened.
Wow. So that takes a lot of resilience from your part, you would say? Or what do you think that has given you that strength to manage those type of situations?
I would say that resilience is a great word. If you can pull off a show in a storm, you can do anything. And I don't mean just a storm at sea, but a storm of emotions and things happening around you. Resilience is a very nice word that you said, that you need to have a lot of resilience to be able to do any management job. And entertainment is all about happiness and resilience combined together.
Right, beautiful combination. What has life on board taught you about humanity, teamwork, and resilience?
Life on board is very different than any life anywhere else. I remember the very first day I joined the ship. My friend that was showing me around, the person that I just met, was a guy from Romania. We're walking around. I'm from Italy. I never met anybody from Romania. He's walking around and he goes, "Bom dia," because there's somebody from Brazil. Then another person comes and goes, "Oh, buenos dia." Then another person comes by and goes, "Oh, magadão, maga." And I'm like, "Wow, why are you not just saying good morning? You're saying good morning in all these languages." And he says, "Oh, it's nice. Just learn one word in every language. You'll be more human to everybody else, because everybody will appreciate the fact that you try to speak that language, even though you come from the other side of the world." And living with having to share the cabin when I first started with people from all around the world. I was 1 month with one person, another month with another person, another month with another person. You learn so much about humanity because everybody's very different. And especially, I would say, on a cruise ship, I'm from Italy, and my first month was with Dario, a guy from Colombia, fantastic. Then the second month was with a guy from Ukraine. The third month, I was sharing the room with a guy from an island in the Caribbean. I don't even remember which one it was, but I was calling him the Caribbean guy,
Wow, okay. Very interesting and very fun meeting people from many parts of the world, right? Like what we talked about diversity and what that brings to your life and your journey. It's very interesting. So now we're going to talk about like the strategy and like global
Right.
culture, as we were talking about just like diversity in arts too. So what are companies like Celebrity Cruises looking for in Latin talent specifically?
Latin talents have something very, very special. And you can see it in any place, in any theater, in any ship, in any part of the world. I, as a cruise director, get a lot of comments from the guests when they come to me and they tell me, oh my God, look at that singer. Oh, that singer was fantastic. What was his name? And oftentimes the guests always tell me, that person is Latino, no? And I go, yes. How do you know? It's like, I don't know. It's just different. There's something that you cannot copy, that you cannot sell, you cannot imitate. And it's that Latin spirit. And I think that people who have that Latin spirit should not hide it, but should really show it and should be proud of it, very proud of it, because being that extra is very important in our business. Maybe you want to hide it if you're looking for a very serious job, but entertainment is not serious at all. So you really want to show your personality. You want to show that smile. You want to show all your teeth. You want to be able to show your messy hair because that's how you were born. Who cares? But just be the extra Latin because people love it.
Hey, thank you. Well, what should we be doing better as Latinos, in the industry to stand out internationally?
Well, oh, that's a fantastic question. Uh, I think what people should do to be better in general is just keep learning, because in our job, every day there is a new song, every day there is a new dance move. Every day there is a new type of style of acting, of just engaging the crowd. So keep learning, use your tools, go online, watch videos, listen to podcasts, just be immersive in all the entertainment experiences. Don't focus yourself only on one entertainment experience, but look at all of them, because our world never stops growing. And we are very lucky to be part of this world right now, but also very unlucky because many years ago, there would be one song every, I don't know, 2 months. Now there is 10 songs every day, if not more.
Right, right. Now let's talk about soft skills, that can conquer the world.
All right.
What would you say that is a skill that is not technical, that is your secret weapon in global entertainment,
I would say empathy. Empathy makes people trust you. Humor makes people follow you. Timing makes everything look magic instead of it being pure luck. So empathy, humor, and timing.
Wow. And timing. Can you repeat, how you connect those two? Like you said, empathy makes you
Empathy
what?
makes people trust you. They trust you and they like you. Then humor makes them follow you. And timing makes everything look magical rather than it being pure luck.
Okay, nice. Thank you for those advices. I'm taking notes.
I see you taking notes. It's nice.
Well, I am an artist and a nerd.
Are you also drawing things?
So, next question. I'm having so much fun here. So, what has been the biggest personal challenge in your career that you said, oh my God, how did I do this? How did I overcome this? I don't have no idea, but I did it. What was like that huge event that you had that you said, oh, this was a real challenge?
It's a very tough topic, but I think it is important to share it because it may help somebody in the same situation. The biggest challenges came during two very painful losses. The first one with my grandfather, Giuseppe, like me, died. And that happened to me during a show. I was on stage. I came out of the theater. And my friends were like, hey, your phone keeps ringing, you cannot answer the phone backstage. And I'm like, who's calling me? And then I realized that they were calling me because my grandfather had just died. And they wanted me because my grandfather had just died. And they wanted me to let me know right away before I would find out from somebody else. And I remember I was breaking down backstage. I was in tears. My friends came next to me, and my assistant said, "Don't worry, I will go on stage. I will take care of this." And I said, "No, no, 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 no. My grandfather would never miss a day of a job. So I'm going to do just like him." I washed my face, I went on stage, and I made it funnier in his honor and made it really good. I even ended up going down the stairs, talking to a child, getting the child on stage. And I remember the child looked at me, and I was still crying, and I was covered in tears, and I was trying to hide from the child. But then I said, whatever, I'm doing it anyway. I'm already here. And that was a very big moment that happened just in 2021. And one of the saddest and the hardest moments was when my father actually died not long ago. And I remember I was in my room. They told me, "Your father is sick." I'm preparing my luggage. I'm putting my black suit inside the luggage because I'm thinking I'm going home and my father is going to die. And I went to the theater that night, and I was on fire, like on fire, super funny, hysterical, grabbing people, making it insane. And at the end of the show, somebody from the cast came to me and says, "Wow, I've been working at sea for 15 years. I never seen a cruise director doing something like this. Why did you do this?" And I said, "This can be my last time on stage. I'm leaving tomorrow, and I think my father's going to die. This is in his honor." And my father did die the next day. Everything happened. So those were the moments when I realized that I could have just say goodbye to everybody and just go to my room and hide and take a shower, do something else. But I decided to go on stage and say, "This is what I love doing. This is the reason why I'm here. And there is no better way than honor them writing rather than hiding, because they would not be happy if I was hiding in a room crying, rather than being on stage, being my full self, and then doing, right before going on stage."
Like close to your situation, and thank you for sharing. And I know it's not easy, but I'm sorry about that, about your loss. But thank you for also inspiring us as artists to keep going and knowing that your family will be very proud of you if you kept doing what you love.
Yes.
Well, we're about to end this interesting and so fun interview with you. So thank you again for your time and for your personality and bringing all
Thank
that you
you.
are here. It has been amazing. Um, so what would you say for the future entertainment at sea? What do you see in the next 10 years for cruise entertainment? And what role do you think that Latin America will play in that future?
Latin America is going to be everywhere. If you look at the past 20 years, what has been happening with Latin America went from being just in Latin America to being everywhere. Even Italian singers, Te Quiero Ramazzotti, Laura Pausini, and all these people, they went to Latin America, they learned Spanish, they started singing in Spanish because they realized that was the biggest market. So Latin America is going to be everywhere, even in Alaska and in Thailand. And I just think that we're going to get bigger with technology, because technology is insane right now. And I was very fortunate to see so many shows with incredible high tech, with some of the most revolutionary technology items. And I believe that there's going to be way more of that in the future. And I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to feel like I'm inside a game, but it's actually a real show.
And like just to finish, we would like to hear a message from you, like for these Latin dreamers who haven't like yet set sail, you know? So what would you say to many talented creatives who have fire, discipline, and big dreams, but still feel unseen by the world?
Dejen de esperar el momento perfecto. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait on the sofa on your phone, hoping that a famous person is gonna like your story and it's gonna change your life. Levántate and start finding your own path. Nobody's gonna contact you magically on Instagram and give you the keys to the world.
That's right. Well, and now we're going to do a trending dynamic here that is called fun.
Oh, I'm very bad at ping pong.
So
I always lose.
5 quick fire questions, and then we're done. Okay, so the first one is, one language you are dying to master.
Japanese. I would love to be able to order sushi in Japanese at my favorite restaurant and sound like an anime character.
That's cool. The most, oh, right, yeah. The second one, the most surreal moment you've ever had at sea.
The most surreal moment, one time I saw penguins right next to the ship and I didn't think they were real. And we were in Antarctica. We were going near Argentina and Chile. And there was all these penguins all around me and they were beautiful, they were nice. And by the time I took the phone and I went for a video, I had a very old phone. And it just wasn't nice enough. So I kept looking at them and you say, you know what, Giuseppe, this is unbelievable. Just enjoy it. And then I managed to go out in Las Islas Malvinas and actually get to see the penguins.
Those are my favorite animals. Did you know that? I love penguins and elephants. Fire question. A song that always lifts the vibe on board.
I would always say that people love Bon Jovi Living on a Prayer. I don't know why, but it just gets everybody to go, oh! And even the young, the old, people just love it. And I didn't realize it until I got on a ship and I said, oh, that's a song that connects with everybody all around the world.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, they made me sing that song for one of my auditions too. And it was for a cruise
audition. So sing it right now for everybody.
There we go. Another interview. Fourth question. A lucky talent who blew your mind.
You.
Oh, thank you, Giuseppe. I'm very honored. I would like to know
You're
more.
Awesome. Look at you right now. You're very happy. You're very smiley. You're super young. So the world deserves to know you.
Thank you. Oh my God, we need to talk about it. Thank you very much. I feel very, very honored, Giuseppe. And now our last question. A phrase you repeat to yourself when chaos hits.
It's actually the title of an Italian song called Cosa vuoi che sia, which it's kind of like, it's nothing. And the song says, cosa vuoi che sia, passa tutto quanto, solo un po' di tempo e ci riderai su, which means like it's nothing, everything is gonna pass eventually, wait a little time and then you're gonna laugh at it.
Thank you very much for this interview again. It has been an honor talking to you. I had so much fun. I know our listeners will have so much fun hearing this podcast with you. This is actually our first interview. Nice. Like with an on-board guest. So, thank you very much. Muchas gracias, Giuseppe, otra vez. Y gracias a nuestro público.
Gracias a todo el mundo latino.
Este es un podcast que nos invita a incomodarnos como artistas desde un lugar. Grazie mille.
Grazie.
So, I was saying that this podcast invites all artists to get out of their comfort zone to reach all of our goals in this industry of like the entertainment industry. So for now, I said goodbye. Quien les habla, Valentina Escobar, una artista como ustedes, llena de sueños en su profesión y con muchas ganas de compartir su arte con los demás. Por esta razón, I'm doing here like some sort of advertising because I am presenting a new play where I'm the actress. It's kind of a monologue. It's on September. So I will do a streaming of that play so you can be able to see it, Giuseppe. I would love that. And we're going to present it on September 22 and September 29. It's called La Caída de la Máscara. Seré la única artista sobre el escenario interpretando una historia de suspenso y amor por medio de 3 personajes en el Teatro Charlotte en Bogotá. Funciones de 6 y 8 de la noche. Compren sus boletas en allticketspoll.com. And for more information, follow us on our Instagram, @lacaídadelamáscara. Nos vemos en un próximo episodio de Voces Latinas y quédense muy conectados. Thank you, Giuseppe.
Muchísimas gracias, eres maravillosa. Qué suerte.
Thank you very much.